Here we go again. What's up, Heat Nation? It's your boy Ernest here, back with the Miami Heat Talk video. Hope everybody's having a beautiful, glorious Tuesday. Hope you guys are blessed. Hope everybody's healthy and safe. Now, with all that said, you guys, off we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Before we get there, you guys, there's something I want to mention to y'all. The last few videos, I've noticed that some of you have said that the sound quality doesn't sound that great. I'm sure you guys have noticed I've moved from having a standing microphone. I actually have this little piece right here. It's a present that my wife got me for Father's Day. It's supposed to make my life a little bit easier, especially with the injury. You know, I don't have to be standing like this the whole time. But I know some of you have had an issue with it. I've tried moving it to a new location, so if you guys can take a moment, let me know how it sounds. It's still a work in progress. I do apologize if it's annoying or something like that. I'm trying to get this to work. I'm trying to upgrade these videos, make it a lot more enjoyable for you guys. But you know, baby steps. We're all in this together. So with all that said, you guys, I want to get into the elephant in the room again. And I know it's a little annoying, you guys, but it's like I tell you, whenever I hear an update, you guys are the first ones to know. So again, we're going to talk about Damian Lillard. I get it. This is Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell all over again. But you guys know he's the hottest topic with the Miami Heat out there as far as rumors go. Now, it was reported by the general manager yesterday from the Portland Trail Blazers that after the meeting with Damian Lillard and his agent, that they're basically looking to build the roster around Damian Lillard. They're looking to make a roster that's going to contend, compete, blah, 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 blah. It's all bullshit. I'm telling you guys right now, I don't care what Portland says. I don't care. They have Anthony Simmons. They have Shaedon Sharpe, who they drafted last year. They just picked up Scoot Henderson. Why would you do that if you intend to keep Damian Lillard? It makes no sense. I understand that a lot of you guys are going to look at what the general manager from Portland says and go by that. I'm going to tell y'all right now, and I've said it before, when a general manager or a team president or an owner says anything about a specific player, don't believe anything they say. Golden State's general manager Mike Dunleavy said that they are planning to build around Jordan Poole for 4 years with his contract. They traded him 2 days later. Do not believe anything these general managers say. Why would Portland's general manager come out and say, we're going to trade Damian Lillard? It brings his value for trades down. They're going to say they want to build around him. They're going to say all that crap they have to say because they don't want teams to undervalue him. So case closed. I hope we're done with that topic. I hope we don't have to bring that up on why the general manager is saying all this. He's saying it because he has to. Moving on, you guys. Now, with Damian Lillard, it was reported by Brian Windhorst earlier today that Damian Lillard is giving Portland time to try to build around him. So yes, it is true. They're going to try to see if they can find anyone to trade for to build around them. I'm telling y'all right now, it's not going to happen. Portland were in talks to trade for Paul George in the draft. Didn't happen. Nobody wants to play in Portland except for Damian Lillard. If that was the case, if Portland was trying to build around him, why would they trade CJ McCollum? Because that's basically what they're trying to do now. They're trying to find someone to play next to Damian Lillard. If that was the case, you shouldn't have traded CJ McCollum. They're going to rebuild, you guys. They have a 3-guard backcourt that they're going to build around. They're not going to keep Damian Lillard. Now, I will say this. Damian Lillard is an organization-friendly player, which means he doesn't want to leave Portland in the loop. My sources tell me, and everything that I've read and heard, is that Damian Lillard is going to give Portland the week of the beginning of the free agency to see what they do. He's going to give them time and flexibility. And I know this is the last thing Miami Heat fans want to hear. We want a decision, and we want a decision to be done right away. Miami Heat fans are very, 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 very impatient. Very impatient. We ran it back last season. You saw the hell in comments we saw on Twitter there. This year, it's the same thing. People are acting like this team just didn't go to the NBA Finals without Tyler Hero and Victor Oladipo. Everybody's saying we have to trade for a big man. I get it. I get it, you guys. We do. We have to make upgrades. We have to retool the big men roster. We understand that. But I'm going to tell you guys something right now. With the new NBA CBA agreement, And listen to my words when I say this, you guys. The Miami Heat can't do shit. We cannot do anything right now. We have 10 players at about $176 million in salary cap space. We are over the first apron already. We're $6 million under that second apron tax hit. And if you guys remember from the CBA video that I posted earlier, when you go over the second apron, you cannot sign mid-level players, you cannot sign buyout players, you can't give large raises to the minimum contract players. That's just for the July 1st in 2023 that kicks in with the new CBA. Next season, the penalties are going to be a lot higher. So we know that the Miami Heat don't have limited space to add new players. So these players that you guys are talking about, oh, why don't we sign Brook Lopez? Oh, why don't we get this guy? Because we can't. We have no money to get any of these players. We don't even have enough money to pull a sign-and trade for a Brook Lopez because we're over the first apron of the luxury tax. So it's going to be very difficult for Miami to make a move. That's why we're going all in for Damian Lillard. That's why we didn't trade for John Collins or a Bradley Beal, because we are very limited. So if you're going to make a trade, if you're going to include Tyler Hero in a package, and I've said this before, you guys, it needs to be a home run hit. Damian Lillard is the home run hit. But unfortunately, if you want to add Damian Lillard on this team, you have to be patient. Sources have said, you guys, I have heard this from everywhere, that a trade between Damian Lillard and Portland Trail Blazers will indeed happen. Damian Lillard is just giving Portland enough time to find the best package for them. Damian Lillard is not going to leave this team high and dry like Kawhi Leonard did. He wants to make sure that the organization, who have been flat on their faces for decades, back in the Clyde Drexler days in the 90s was the last time they competed for an actual title. They've had so much heartbreak in the last 30 years. Damian Lillard understands that. He's a man of the people in Portland. He does not want to leave them flat on their faces. I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. That is the reason why this trade is not happening right away. In a perfect world, you guys, this trade would happen before July 1st. So that way, you don't have to include Tyler Hero. The trade is still done under the old CBA rules, so it won't hamper Miami that much. And in a perfect world, you can throw a trade for Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, some first-round picks, and maybe a young piece. That ain't going to happen. Damian Lillard wants to make sure that the Portland Trail Blazers get the best offer available. So what does that mean? That means all these players that you guys love, lose that love real quick. The only players that are untouchable for this trade, in my opinion, is Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Tyler Hero, Caleb Martin, Victor Oladipo, who's in an expiring contract, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Hayward Highsmith, future first-round picks. They are all in discussion, you guys. And I've told y'all this before. Miami has to make the best offer to get Damian Lillard. And this rumor that we recently heard about, this source that we've recently heard about, that's saying that Damian Lillard wants to make sure Portland gets the best offer, it's true. All right? So it's like I said, you guys, this trade is not going to happen overnight. So here's another question. With the impatience of Miami Heat fans, with the fact that we don't want what happened last year with Kevin Durant and Donovan Mitchell to affect us again, are you guys over this Damian Lillard thing? Because if you are, then let's talk about something different. Let's talk about retooling this team that we currently have. This team that just went to the NBA Finals without their third best scorer and without this new draft pick that we just got. Miami Heat next season, fully healthy, can do some damage. But the only problem with this team, you guys, and I talked about this in my CBA video a few weeks ago, it's not going to be that easy bringing this team back. You can run it back. You can add some pieces. But the tax penalty is going to be insane. We are $6 million under the second apron right now, and we only have 10 players. And this is, of course, assuming that Victor Oladipo opts into his player option, which we all know he is. He's not going to play until later next season. So he's going to opt in. That's going to give him about $10 million. All right? So with those 10 contracts, we are $6 million under the second apron. We're going to go over that second apron by filling this roster. We got to fill 5 more players. Most likely we might fill 4, but it doesn't matter. Because if you re-sign, and that's another thing we got to talk about. You got Gabe Vincent and Max Strus free agencies. By signing one of them, you're going to go way over the second apron. Both of these guys are going to command anywhere from $10 to $15 million each. And that's another thing we got to talk about, you guys, because now that you're a second apron team, you're paying $5 for every $1 in tax penalties. So if you sign Gabe Vincent or Max Strus, either or, you're not only paying them their contract, you're paying about $60 million in penalties. So you're paying for that player, their salary, plus $60 million in penalties. If you bring back both Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, now you're paying about $120 million in penalties. Are these two guys really worth all that money? Now, there is a way that Miami can avoid going deep into that penalty. That's trading guys like Kyle Lowry or Duncan Robinson. But by trading them, you can't get anything back. You're trading them to just lower the numbers. So for example, and I'm sorry to bore you guys, but this is the stuff that the organization is thinking about. And as fans, we need to understand the same thing. You can't just say, oh, I don't care, Mickey Arison, spend money. You can't, because the NBA salary is $136 million. If you're paying in penalties $150 million and you have to pay the salary to your players, you're paying over $300 million for this team. That's insane. That's an insane number to ask the owner to pay. So we got to understand that in a way, you guys. We got to put ourselves in their shoes, because it's really not that because it really is difficult to make these decisions. So if you are going to sign Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, if you're going to bring back Kevin Love, and with that huge penalty, here's a way that you can knock it down. You trade Kyle Lowry or you trade Duncan Robinson. If you bring this team back and you just trade Kyle Lowry as a salary dump, you're only going to pay $15 million in tax penalties. So you're just by trading Kyle Lowry, by bringing this team back, you're going to have $150 million tax penalty go down to $15 million. That's huge. Just by trading Kyle Lowry. But it's like I said, that's only going to help Mickey Arison save money. Because by trading for Kyle Lowry, we're not going to get anything back if it's just a salary cap filler. That's not what we want. That's not what this team wants. We were 3 games away from making the from winning the NBA championship. You want to bring back this team and you want to upgrade them. But it's going to be very difficult, you guys. That's just the honest talk. We need to make some difficult decisions. If we want to bring back Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, are we ready to let go of Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson? Now, a report earlier today was made that if Miami is not able to find a trade suitor for Kyle Lowry, then we will possibly waive and stretch his contract. That's where the whole $30 million won't hit our cap this season. You stretch it for 3 years, it'll be $10 million a year, and that basically lowers our tax hit. But who gives a shit about that? That's to help the team save money. It doesn't do anything for us to win. But these are difficult decisions, like I said, you guys, Miami has to make. So that's why we're trying to go all in for Damian Lillard. Because if you're going to pay that huge tax for the team, might as well do it for a serious contender. I'm not saying this team is not. I'm not saying that if we run it back, we're not going to be a serious contender. But let's be honest, you guys. A team with Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, and Damian Lillard is way more lethal than what we have now. That's just a fact. Damian Lillard is a superstar. We all know that. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. So that's pretty much it, you guys, about the Miami Heat roster. Now, look, our sources are saying that Damian Lillard is going to give Portland Trail Blazers the week into free agency to see what they do. I think it might be a lot longer than that, you guys. I think this might go down a lot longer. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think is the best thing for the Miami Heat to do? Wait and see with Damian Lillard, or go all in with this team right now and just move on? Remember, if you decide to move forward with this team right now, we can't really make any changes as far as signing that big man. All we have is our minimum contracts. We do have a $4.7 million trade exception that we can use as a part of a trade or picking up a waived player. So for example, when Chris Paul was cut by the Phoenix Suns before he got traded, when they said they were going to waive him, that player becomes a free agent. And Miami can use that $4.7 million trade exception to sign that player. So that is an exception that we have that we can use. It doesn't affect the salary cap at all. So that's something you guys probably don't know. Remember that. Miami have that $4.7 million trade exception that you can use to sign a waived player. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that the Heat should just run it back, maybe retool and try to sign a big man, or try to go all in with Damian Lillard? Again, you guys, we can't just trade for a Brook Lopez or a Miles Turner, because if we're trading Duncan Robinson or Kyle Lowry and we're getting a bigger salary that's coming back, or you're matching that salary that's coming back, you still have to decide what you're going to do with Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. And by re-signing those two guys, trading for a big man, you're still going to be in the same problem that you have now. And it's not a guaranteed contender. I hope this video helped you guys. So sorry, my kids are here. They're screaming in the background. I apologize, you guys. But take a moment, hit the like button, comment, let me know your thoughts. But most importantly, guys, please hit that subscribe button. We're almost at the 1K subscribers mark. Thank you guys so much. My last 4 videos have been bangers because of you guys. I promise I'm going to keep moving forward, giving you the best content that I can. Let me know again about this microphone, you guys. It's a work in progress. I promise to make it perfect. Love y'all, and until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said. Let's go Heat.